Hello, my divine souls. Welcome to Spiritual Bloom, where we bloom within our consciousness. With your spiritual guide and Twinflame coach Neha. In today's episode, we will be talking about how the Twinflame journey resembles the journey of the Metamorphosis. So, the Twinflame journey is a metamorphosis journey like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. But before the wings comes the breaking and the harder and the darker days. So let us understand step by step, just like we understood during our school days, the metamorphosis stage. The first stage, which we all know, is the caterpillar stage, which is the beginning. In the beginning, similarly, in the twin flame journey, everything feels magical. You meet someone who feels like home, like you've known them forever. There's intense attraction, deep emotional connection, and a sense of divine timing. Everything feels magical and like a destiny. But this stage is just the caterpillar, consuming, absorbing, and attaching, because you are still operating from ego, expectations, emotional dependency, and you don't even realize it yet. You're operating from 3D rather than operating from the 5D. Gradually, everything changes and the breakdown begins. The connection starts triggering your deepest wounds, abandonment fears, insecurity, control issues, past traumas. The person who once felt like heaven and home now feels like chaos, and you go through extreme depression and anxiety. Why does this happen? This happens because twin flame don't come to complete you. They come to mirror you. They try to show you not just the beautiful parts of your face and body, but also the ugly, miserable, and the darker parts which you have ignored for years. Every unresolved part of you is now impossible to ignore, and this is where the breakdown begins. Thirdly, the cocoon stage, which is also the separation and dark night. This is the phase where people fear separation because it creates silence, distance, and confusion. You feel lost, empty, obsessed with answers and questions, emotionally drained. This is the cocoon stage, and here's the truth. Inside the cocoon, the caterpillar doesn't just grow wings, it completely dissolves. In the same way, humans also dissolve during this separation and the dark night of the soul phase. Your identity breaks, your beliefs collapse, and your ego shatters. This is often experienced as depression, spiritual awakening, or the dark night of the soul. And it feels like everything is falling apart. But something sacred is happening because you are being rebuilt from within. Now, the fourth phase, which is called the inner transformation. This is where the real transformation begins. You start healing and understanding your childhood wounds. You release any kind of attachments or codependency. You let go of control and find your own identity instead of chasing somebody else's validation for your own identification. You realize this journey was never about your counterpart, but it was always about you. It was always about your growth and understanding your highest potential. You stop chasing and you stop needing validation. And for the first time during this inner transformation, you choose yourself. This is where the wings begins to form. You finally understand that your pair of wings is more precious than the wings of somebody else. Your pair of wings, though it has been built with so much pain and suffering, is precious rather than borrowed wings, because your own wings gives you individuality, courage, unconditional love, and a sense of validation from your own self, own higher self, rather than validation from others. Then slowly, when you understand and your wing begins to form and you understand your potential, that cocoon breaks and it finally flies into a butterfly, the awakening. And one day you feel different, lighter, calmer, and whole. You no longer chase people or situations. You no longer feel miserable within yourself. You no longer see yourself as a subject of pity. Instead, you see yourself as a matter of concern and prime importance. You feel such way not because they came back, your counterpart came back. You feel such way because you found yourself and you come home back to yourself. You no longer search for home in another people, and you no longer are the same person who started the journey. You have sense of awareness, emotional independence, and a kind of inner peace and calmness. This is the butterfly stage, because you didn't just survive the journey, you transformed through it, through scars, through pain, and through many other things which only you know and take pride of. The sixth phase, which is the union. This is the stage where the biggest realization comes into your head. That is, union is not about being with your counterpart. Union is all about being aligned with yourself and transforming yourself into a higher self. Whether they return or not, you are no longer incomplete, because the journey fulfilled its true purpose through your metamorphosis. This journey is a journey of metamorphosis, just like a caterpillar has to go through so much of pain, so much of transformation, locks itself inside a cocoon to understand its inner self, its inner being, break itself down, and suddenly one day blooms into a butterfly. That is what actually this journey is all about. Because twin flame journey is not about finding yourself in another person. This is the roadmap to yourself and roadmap to coming home back to yourself. That's why, just like a caterpillar comes back home to itself being a beautiful butterfly, in the same way, the divine feminine specially comes back home after such war, after such pain and hardships. She comes back home to herself and realizes her worth and her power. In the same way, the divine masculine also comes home realizing that they had many wounds to heal, and through that healing they come home to themselves. Even they go through tests and trials, which is completely different from the tests and trials of the divine feminine. But at the end of the day, both go through extreme pain and suffering. That's why this journey is not just about union, and I made this episode specifically to make it easier for you people to understand that just like we studied the phase of metamorphosis. In the same way, Twinflame journey can also be compared to the metamorphosis stage. So if you are in this journey right now, trust the process, the pain, the confusion and the silence. It is not here to destroy you, it's here to transform you. You are not breaking, you are becoming. And just like the butterfly, you are meant to bloom. So if this resonated with your journey, like, share and subscribe my channel. For any kind of personal guidance, you can WhatsApp or email me. My personal contact details have been given in the description box and mentioned in the video as well. Thank you for listening and tuning in. I will see you again soon with another episode.